Good morning, everybody. So, sometimes I addressed this video on my last video at the end, basic, but I wanted to delve into it a little bit more. Check this video out.
A lot of women are saying that I don't love myself, so let me speak slowly for the bitch in the back. I'm usually very kind, but once I lose my give a fuck, I no longer can find it. I'm sorry. So here it is. I said that sometimes I put my partner's needs before my own, no matter how I feel. And a lot of people were mad about that. Let me explain. Acts of selflessness make me happy. It really depends on the type of person you are. A lot of you bitches are so selfish, you'd never understand. Crazy is my partner would do the same for me. I'm in a happy and healthy relationship, and a lot of you can't relate. Sometimes I'm not in a good mood, then I put myself in the mood, and then afterwards we be in a great mood. Also, a lot of you felt like me putting myself in the mood meant I was forcing myself. Actually, sweetie, it's a little fun, and if you bitch play with yourself like you play with me, you'd be a lot happier. Never said this man forced me, so stop putting your trauma on me. Also, this is for the younger women that feel like they have to be forced. Never force yourself to do anything that you don't want to do. But for the bitch over 30 that wants me to apologize for the way that I live my life, no. I also didn't make my bed. Is that okay?
Well, hello there. It's giving, baby, I'll get blue balls if you don't give it up to me. And us believing that dumbass shit. Y'all remember that? To the younger generations, listen to me. Blue balls is a myth. They made it up. Acts of selflessness are things like, I really wanted this last piece of dessert, but I'm going to give it to my partner because they want it too. It does not involve your body. Next, when you have a platform this big, this becomes dangerous rhetoric to the younger generations. Because you're telling the younger generation, particularly women, that if you don't give it up to them, you don't want a healthy relationship. And you're telling men that if your partner doesn't give it up to you, then they don't want a healthy relationship and that you deserve access to their bodies even though they don't want to. Now, she may be in a relationship, but I'm in a marriage, so listen to me. Forcing yourself to get in the mood to perform relations is absolutely not the way to build a healthy relationship. You are not a commodity. You do not have to trade yourself to build a healthy relationship. In fact, if you have a healthy relationship, that man will not want to touch you while you're not in the mood. Remember that. If they love you and care about you, they are not going to want you to perform any type of relations when you are not in the mood. If you're not into that, it's not supposed to be a transaction. Now, if she want to do that, that's fine, but don't let it convince you that that's the way to have a healthy relationship. It's not. 10 out of 10.
So, it's not enough for her to go on and tell you that your happiness is the only happiness that matters. But she also decides to tell you that something that is a real thing. It's funny because y'all ever notice that people who have no balls know the most about balls? So let me ask you this question. First of all, let me say this. The body is the most sophisticated, the human body is the most sophisticated engineering on planet Earth. So let me ask you this question. If you have a hose pipe and you turn that hose pipe on and you feed water to the hose pipe and you don't pull the head, is it a correct statement that that hose pipe will generally bust or water will force its way out of some crevice? What do you think is different than the way the penis works? But I digress. Let me get to the point. How many times must a person tell y'all that a relationship is contractual? Love is contractual. Marriage is contractual. And it's not contractual based off of money because you can be married to somebody without signing those papers that dictates what happens with money. Marriage is just a commitment between two people. But marriage is based off of duty, not any of all of that other stuff that you think it's based off of. Marriage is about two people coming together and filling in the blanks for one another. That's what it's about. It's not about you being happy at all times. How in the fuck, if you love somebody, and this is a real statement, not that bullshit that she said. If he loved you, he wouldn't want you. If you love somebody, one, how could you watch them? How could you be happy while you watch them be miserable? That's a real statement. When he's catering to your needs and doing whatever it is that he needs you, that you need him to do, and that he needs to be doing, how can you look at him and say no? How can you look at that person who's going in and out of their way to make sure that you're happy and tell them and deprive them of something that they want and something that they need? See, this shit is just basic common sense. You shouldn't have to force yourself. You should want to. You should want to. If they're doing everything that they're supposed to be doing and you want that to continue, you should want to. It's like I said in the last video. You don't have to, when you look at this mindset, you don't have to ask the question, why do men cheat? Because you don't give a fuck nothing about his happiness. So this is not just about sex or anything. This is about everything. Oh, I'm married. So what? Now that you're married, you don't have to worry about your man's happiness. You don't have to do things that you don't want to do. But what if he says, would you have that same respect that you think that he should have if you say no to sex, if he doesn't feel like doing something that he's been doing? Like paying the bills, maybe getting your hair done, getting your nails done, buying you something for Valentine's Day, your birthday. If he doesn't feel like it, would you have that same respect for him? Absolutely not. You know it, I know it, we know it. So what are we talking about here? You know what we're talking about? We're talking about the lack of respect for a man's happiness. We're talking happy wife, happy life, when it should be happy house, happy spouse. We talking stop being so selfish and thinking life is all about you and come together and make each other happy. Nothing but selfishness in the second part of that video. And here's the thing. I've said this before. I'll say it again. When it comes to women in relationships, there's no such thing as a selfless act. Even if you listen to the first girl, it can't be selfless if you get a good emotion out of it. If you get something out of it, it's not selfless. All right? So when she says doing selfless things makes me happy about myself, then it's no longer a selfless act because you get something out of it as well. All right? Men do selfless acts all the time. We pay to get your hair done and then never see it. Because you saw Bonnet Girl in the second part of the video. She got a whole bonnet on her head. Whatever she got going on, her husband probably paid for it and never sees it. Only the back of it as she walks out the door. And then there's the things that we do that we don't even pay no attention to. Get her nails done. We don't give a fuck about your nails. We give it to you just to make you happy. We give you that money just to make you happy. And then, when it comes to you giving me something that you don't have to pay for to make me happy or whatever the case may be, we got to go through this. Hair and nails really don't matter. Yet, if I say no to that because I don't feel like it, it's wrong. But you would counter that by saying sex don't matter. Well, sex is what keeps the world going. Because if everybody magically stopped having sex right now, life would cease to exist. And there would be no more world. Show off. I thought I was finished, but I really wasn't. What's the most selfless thing that a lot of men are asked to do, by the way? Take care of your kids when we come into a relationship. And that's the thing that we never get any credit for. So then when I ask you to do something for me, your response is what? You don't feel like it. Show?